What's up, everyone? Welcome back for another video. Gonna try to get back into the swing of things with these uploads, so bear with me as we get everything settled. If you saw the last video, I believe I mentioned I have some footage from traveling from New York to our new home in Utah. Stuff with them packing up the house and whatnot, and then even, why is this so loud? Then also the trip in the RV. I still have to edit those videos. I'm gonna try to get those out possibly this week. Gonna try to put some stuff back on the truck, but first I gotta run to the dump to throw some stuff out. We're gonna clean up like the shed and stuff like that and stuff around the house. And we've been making a lot of garbage. Luckily the dump isn't far away and it's free to drop off whatever the hell you want, basically. Obviously not car batteries and paint and stuff like that, but any household garbage, good to go. So let me go drop this stuff off, then we will meet back in the garage. Probably gonna throw the light bar back on if I could get to it in the closet in my office. Gonna throw the Mack tracks back on. We'll talk. Hold on. I can't say I've ever been to a garbage dump before I came to this one, but it doesn't smell at all, and I feel like it should. Maybe they're just better about it, I don't know. Feel like I've driven past ones in like New Jersey or like Staten Island and I've smelt it from the car, so I don't know. We're back home. Gonna try to put this light bar back on, and I'm gonna put the Max tracks back on. What else do we have here? This is probably not happening today, but that's the bed rack that goes on the back of the truck. Not sure if I'm gonna put this back together just yet because it's just annoying. And I need, now that I'm thinking about it, I need to find all the bolts to put it back together. But the Max tracks, I have the mounts somewhere. The mounts are right there for the Max track. The bolts are in the rack still. Then light bar. The deal with the light bar, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do just yet. If I'm just gonna mount it and leave it like that, or I'm gonna mess with the brackets to see if I could get it mounted in front of the fairing on the roof rack. So let's talk about the garage for a second. Obviously this is a larger garage. This is a 3-car garage. Might not be as deep as the garage in New York, but definitely larger. Gonna be a nice workspace to eventually build out. One thing I'm probably gonna have to do sooner than later is deal with some lighting, but I don't want to rush into it just to get the lighting just to do it, but I also need the lighting because, I mean, it's just dark in here. I have the garage door open to help, but there's 1, 2, and 3 bulbs up. That one's the brightest. It's one of those like LED things, but I'm gonna have to figure something out with that because it's a little dark in here. If we're gonna be working on the cars, we need some sort of brightness. We'll get around to that. Probably gonna make some sort of video on general plans for the garage. Obviously things always change, but what we're gonna start off as the plans for the garage and try to work from there. Stay tuned for that video. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss that video. But let's get something mounted. Gotta do some sort of car work here. All right, let's get cracking on this. And as you can see in here, pretty dark, but something we'll deal with for now and eventually figure out something to do. In New York, I bought some LED lights off of Amazon, I think, and they were kind of direct replacement. I know they sell different ones at like Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff like that. Maybe I'll just get like a couple to just put in some of the spots we're gonna be working. Because I do have plans to eventually get, possibly, I'm not definite, but I have plans to get that like hexagon pattern thing, LED ceiling stuff. So that's in the future after we get this whole thing sealed up and insulated, because I know I'm gonna be roasting in here in the summertime. So the light bar mounts kind of on top of the rack right there. I will insert a picture right here. That's how it mounts. I don't like it. And now I'll insert a picture of how I want it to look. This one is a Baja Designs. And then here's one with the KC highlights. Both look awesome. I do realize that those have 8 lights and we only have 7. So it'll probably look a little different, but I want to try to get this mounted a little better. I don't have metal to mess around. Actually, I got a couple pieces of metal actually to mess around with if we need to remake a bracket. I don't know where my welder is, and I'm also not that great at welding. I don't know if we want that to be the thing to hold on our $1,500 Lightbar also. So I'm trying to brighten this up for you as much as possible, but as you see down here, this end will be easier for you to see. So as you see here, it has brackets on it already. I will link the video of putting this whole thing together and installing it up in the top corner, so if you want to check that out. But the way it is mounted with this is this sits in the rack up top over it, and we don't like that. I'm gonna see maybe if we could flip these brackets the other way, maybe even mount them on opposite ends to get it so the bracket's down that way. Maybe we gotta see. We gotta play with some ideas here. All right, so I got a plan going, but I need to find metal to make a little bracket. Doesn't have to be the thickest metal in the world because it's not supporting much distance, but it just needs to be wide enough so it can catch both these bolts. Let me try to show you what I'm talking about. So in my hand I have the bracket from the driver's side, and we're going to be placing it on the passenger side. So this is going to work, but this is how the bracket used to be. It used to mount like this to this angled part, of the roof rack, like that, and then you have your left hole, your front and back hole, and then adjustment, whatever. So what we're going to do, this was on the driver's side. Now we're moving this to the passenger side. We're actually just going to flip it like this, and we're going to wind up resting it right on the rack. And then we're going to look into seeing what needs to be re-drilled, if we need to drill a left and a right, or if we could just get away with these holes here. But I think this is going to work, and I just need to bridge the gap from here to here, if that makes sense, if you could even see that, because once again it's dark in here. But that's the plan. Got to find some metal that's going to work. So let me look around. I wound up opening the garage door because it's way too dark in here. Just going to have to deal with whatever noise is outside because they're digging out some of the land over there for a new house build. And then up the block I think they were pouring cement. But just going to have to deal with it. So, we might be onto something here. Hopefully it works. Hopefully the measurements don't exceed the piece of the fairing. Gotta do this one more time. Let me show you what we did. We're gonna clean this up and paint it and make it all nice. But so this is the piece we have. Left it loose, only this piece is tight. For reference, it's gonna sit on there. Hopefully that's as far as it has to go. It's gonna sit on there nice and tight, tighten that down, and then I really don't think it's gonna move at all. We're gonna make one more of those, then we're gonna take the middle bracket off of the lights and see, or maybe I'll just flip the other bracket around and just make, I'm gonna make two more of them, just to make it easy. I'm just gonna make two more, do that, take them apart, paint them, hopefully remount it, and that's it. Alright, so it's a little more in depth than I was thinking. I'm gonna have to take the fairing off and cut it, the top edge of it a little bit. So let me go do that. I gotta check on this bracket. Looks like I might be able to drill it out a little bit to get the second hole in, to get the second screw in. I don't know yet. I loosened the whole thing up. Hold on. I loosened this whole thing up because that's one of the designs of this. I also rerouted these wires so they're on the top of this little bracket. They were at the bottom and it was hitting the roof. So if anything, I might have to raise the bracket a little bit, figure something out with that. But I loosened all these brackets so then it has play in it. So you could do this. Instead of a rigid design, it's flexible at the moment, so then we might be able to follow the curve of the roof rack windshield thing. So let me take this fairing off and cut this. So I'm just going to take this straight off on both ends. I guess I'll give you guys a quick update on this. Got it up top. Gonna have to probably buy better metal so it's not as flimsy. Obviously at the moment it's there's a little plane. I'm gonna get another mount. I don't have the middle one in, so that's gonna make it a little more solid. And I have to tighten everything up. So I'm actually gonna climb up top so I can put the middle bracket back in, because you have to take apart the middle piece, slide the bracket in and put it back together. So I'm gonna try to do that from the top without unbolting this, so then I could get everything tight, then retighten, then take it down, tighten it. I'm probably gonna drill another hole in these brackets just so I can get 2 mounts on it. So that's what we're looking like. All right, that was more work than I was expecting it to be. It's kind of annoying having to go up and down the ladder. It's not finished. It's not the finished product. It's just, for right now, it's finished until I could go to the store and get better metal material, because the stuff I have is mildly flimsy. I don't have anything thick enough. I do have this angle iron here, but it's not wide enough, so I can't cut it down to, I can't cut it at the angle to make it into flat stock, because I want to get 2 mounting points on it. So I had to use this, angle stuff, which is that thick. A little flimsy. I was able to hammer this down to flatten it. I've used that before to mount random stuff. I think I actually used pieces of that to mount parts of the body kit on the 190. But this is how it is right now. From my angle, I could see a piece that needs to be trimmed. Don't know if I want to do it right now, because I'm a little short on time. We have to run to the DMV to register the truck in a little bit. So it might stay like this. I might take that bracket off just to cut it, just so I don't see it, because it's kind of annoying me now the more that I notice it. And once that's cut down, then you won't see it from here. And it's pretty solid. I'll show you in a second. Yes. Real quick, before you murder me in the comments, this roof rack mounting was kind of version 1, just to prove to myself, I guess, that it can be mounted like this before I went to spend any money on trying to get it to mount like this. So the brackets themselves from the Lightbar are unmodified, which is awesome. So if I needed to go back, I could have put it back to the way it was. But I did go to the store, look at the thickness of this metal. I'm not gonna have a problem with any deflection on that. So gonna get that mounted up today the proper way instead of the way I have it now. So don't murder me in the comments. Also, Utah plates. So the piece you can see is obviously this right here. Little ghetto, yes, I agree with you, but I'm gonna go to the store and get better pieces. This is just a preliminary mount. Just wanted to make sure that I was actually able to do this, because I just wanted to make sure I was actually able to do this before I went to buy anything. So I used what I had. I couldn't find anything better than this. This label is not helping the situation, but I might take it and cut it down a little shorter just so you won't see it. Because, I mean, I'm tall, so I can see it right there, but not bad. Kind of like it. So I'm gonna go mark that up quick to where I want to cut it, take it apart, cut it. I was planning on painting everything, but I'm not gonna do it because it needs to be remounted with thicker metal. So I'm not even gonna go that extra yard to do that. I might just go get the extra metal while I'm out and about getting the car registered. So let me take that down, cut it, then we'll be done here. Don't think we're gonna do the max tracks today. And one other thing, I left that one with that angle piece just to give it a little more rigidity, but it's not looking like the right thing, so gonna have to get new pieces of metal. And that's it. I forgot to mention that I had to take the whole thing off just to tighten the bottom screws so it doesn't adjust anymore. So it's pretty firm, and like I said, I do need to get better metal because there is some planet that will probably bounce around and drive me crazy. I don't know what part is hitting to wedge it so it doesn't. So that's it. I added a zip tie. Yes, once again, a little ghetto, but it's just for the time being, for when I have a little bit more time and the correct metal to make this nice and firm. But add a zip tie. No more banging around, at least for now. We're not going far today, so that's it. Looks a lot better. I can't get wide enough to get the full gist of it, but looks sick. Just got to rewire it back up. which isn't a problem because the wires are under the hood. I just got to run the wires back up, but I'm not going to do that right now because I don't feel like it, to be honest. So that's it. Thanks for joining me. Got the light bar mounted. Probably what I'm going to do off camera is rewire the whole thing. I'm going to have to redo that KC wire hider thing because when I did it, it was a little cold out and the double stick tape didn't stick that well, so it stuck to the car but not the actual rubber piece. So I'm going to have to redo that anyway. Get that back on, get the lights rewired, redo those brackets, which, like I said, I'll probably do off camera. Throw the Max Tracks back on. Then eventually we got to put that rack back together, put it back on the back of the truck, but there's a billion bolts that go with it and I didn't feel like doing it today because it takes a long time and I don't specifically remember the order, so I might have to get the instructions off the website. That's it. Thank you for joining me on this quick one. Back to doing a little bit of car work. Hopefully we'll be able to do a little exploring and off-roading and whatnot in the near future. Get working on the 190E again at some point after we start cleaning out this garage a little more because I don't want to make a complete mess over some of the stuff that still needs to go in the house. Thank you for joining me. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave some comments down below. Leave some comments about some, I guess, some easy off-road trails you would like me to go do if you're familiar with southern Utah. And that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.